Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our Arabic class. This is the fifth lesson, book 2, Durusul lughatil arabiyyah. الدرس الخامس, lesson 5. من فتح باب الفصل, who opened the class door? أنا فتحته, I opened it. ومن فتح النوافذ, and who opened the windows? أنا فتحتها, I opened it. من كسر هذا المكتب, who break this table? أأنت كسرته يا هاشم? Did you break it, oh you هاشم? لا, إني ما كسرته. لا, إني ما كسرته. No, I didn't break it. أرجع زكريا وأمزة وعثمان من مكة. Has Zakaria, Hamza, and Uthman returned from Mecca? La ma raja'u. No, they have not returned. يا أستاذ خرج الطلاب الجدد وذهبوا إلى المدير. Oh, you Ustaz, the new students left and went to the principal. أفهمت الدرس يا طلحة? Oh, you طلحة, did you understand the lesson? نعم فهمته جيدا. Yes, I understand it very well. نعم, yes, فهمته جيدا. I understand it very well. أكتبت الأجوبة يا فيصل? Did you write the answers, oh you فيصل? لا, ما كتبتها. No, I never write them. لماذا? And why? لأنني ما فهمت الأسئلة. Because I never understand the questions. لأنني ما فهمت الأسئلة. Just because I never understand the questions. أحفظت سورة الفجر يا إبراهيم? Did you memorize سورة الفجر, oh you إبراهيم? نعم حفظتها. Yes, I memorized it. وحفظت سورة التين أيضا, and I also memorized سورة التين also. تمارين, exercises. أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Answer the following questions. أين ذهب الطلاب الجدد? Where has the new students went to? Then you say ذهب الطلاب الجدد إلى المدير. That is, the new students went to the principal. ذهب الطلاب الجدد إلى المدير. The new students went to the principal. أفهم طلحة الدرس? Did Talha understand the lesson? نعم فهم طلحة الدرس. That is, yes, Talha understand the lesson. أي سورة حفظ إبراهيم? Which surah did Ibrahim memorize? حفظ إبراهيم سورة الفجر وسورة التين. حفظ إبراهيم سورة الفجر وسورة التين أيضا. That is, Ibrahim memorized Surah Al-Fajr and also Surah Al-Tin. من فتح النوافذ, that is, who opened the windows? So you answer by saying فتح علي النوافذ, that is, Ali opened the windows. The next one we have هذه العلامة. Apply this sign أمام الجمل الصحيحة, in front of the correct sentences. وهذه العلامة, and these signs أمام الجمل غير الصحيحة, in front of the incorrect sentences. Number 1, we have فتح علي الفصل, that is, Ali opened the class. فتح علي الفصل, that is, Ali opened the class. Is this correct? Then apply the appropriate sign in front of the sentence. ما رجع زكريا وحمزة وعثمان من مكة. That is, Zakaria and Uthman and also Hamza has never returned from Mecca. Is that correct? Then put the appropriate sign in front of the sentence. ما كتب فيصل الأجوبة لأنه ما فهم الأسئلة. That is, Faisal had not written the answers just because he had not understand the questions. So the next one we have ما كتب فيصل الأجوبة لأن قلمه مقصور. That is, Faisal has not written the answers because his pen is broken. Is that correct? So answer. So apply the appropriate sign in front of these sentences. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية. Study the following examples. The first word is Al-Quran. قرأ الطالب القرآن. That is, the students recited Al-Quran. So at this point, the author of this book is ready to introduce to us what we call fi'lun, fa'ilun, maf'ulun bi. That is what we call fi'lun, that is verb, fa'ilun, that is subject, maf'ulun bi, that is the object. In Arabic language, we have this category of grammars. So when we say fi'lun, that is the action that is taken in that sentence. If you say, I went home, the action is went. The word that brings about the action in that sentence is known to be the went, right? So here also in Arabic language, we have that. We call the verb fi'lun in Arabic language. That is fi'lun, faf, ayn, then lam. Fi'lun, fi'lun. So this is what we call that. And the next one is the fa'ilun. Fa'ilun. So fa'il is the subject. Fa'il is known to be the one that executes the action in that sentence. It is called subject in English language. But here in Arabic, we call it fa'il because it is the one that executes the action. That is, it executes the fi'lun in the sentence. The next one is called maf'ulun bi. That is, it is the object. That is, it is what the action is being taken upon. Let's go by the example set by the author of the book. He has unique examples for this course. So we have Al-Quran. Then it says, we all know Al-Quran is known to be the Holy Quran, the only book of we, the Muslims. قرأ الطالب القرآن. That is, the students read the Holy Quran. قرأ الطالب القرآن. That is, the students recited Al-Quran. That is, look at it. We have the students, we have recited, we have Quran. That is, this is three things. Number one, the students is the fa'il because it's the one that executed the action, which is the verb. The action is the qara'a, which is the recitation that is being done. The act of recitation in the sentence is carried out by the fa'il, which is the subject. And what the execution is made upon the Holy Quran because it is the Quran that is being recited. So the maf'ulun bihi is called the Al-Quran this time around. That is, the Al-Quran is called the maf'ulun bihi in Arabic grammar of this sentence. That is, the Arabic grammar of this sentence is known to be the fi'lun is the qara'a, which is the action. Talibu is the fa'il, the subject in the English language. Al-Qur'ana is the object, that is something in which the action is being taken upon. So it is said that Qara al-talibul Qur'ana. The students recited the Holy Quran. So in this sense, so one thing I will tell you concerning the fa'il, which is the subject, and the maf'ulun bihi, which is the object, this time around, is that the subject, that is the fa'il, must always be with dhamma, I mean with rufa'a. That is the law. That is the Arabic rule concerning that. That is, the subject, the one that executes the action, must definitely be in rufa'a, that is, have dhamma at the end of the word. Its last letter should have dhamma. Just as we said at-talibu, we never said at-talibi or at-taliba. No. Talib is the fa'il, must always be in dhamma, in as much as it is the fa'il. So, but the maf'ulun bihi, that is the Al-Quran, that is the one in which the action is being taken upon, which is called the object in English language. It is known to be maf'ulun bihi in Arabic language. So it must always be in fata'ah. That is, the last letter of that maf'ulun bihi should be in fata'ah. That is, the Al-Quran should always be in fata'ah in as much it is the object in that sentence. That is, any subject should always be with dhamma, and any object should always be with fata'ah. Please take note of that. Let's go by the example. Al-Qur'anu. So we have Qara al-talibul Qur'ana. That is, the students recited Al-Qur'an. You can see the Al-Qur'an is having fatah, and the student al-talib is having dhamma on it. This is the Arabic ruling concerning that. So the next one we have al-qa'watu. This al-qa'watu is the coffee. So we say shariba al-dayful qa'wata. That is, the visitor drank coffee. Shariba al-dayful qa'wata. Shariba al-dayful qa'wata. The visitor drank coffee. So if we are to go by the anatomy of this statement, we know that we have al-qa'watu, which is the coffee, and it's the object in this sentence. So we have shariba, which is the action, that is the verb, the fa'ilun in Arabic language. Ad-dayfu is the fa'il, the one that executed the action. Then al-qa'wata is the maf'ulun bihi in this sentence, which is known to be the object. So it must always be in fatah, just as the fa'il in dhamma at the end. So that is that. That is shariba dayful qa'wata. That is, the visitor drank the coffee. The next one we have ad-darsu. Then it is said that katabal mudarrisul darsa. That is, the teacher has written the lesson. Katabal mudarrisul darsa. That is, the teacher has written the lesson. Look at it, we have the verb, which is the fa'ilun. Then we have al-mudarrisu, which is the fa'il. We also have ad-darsa, which is the maf'ulun bihi, and it is always in fata'ah. As we said, maf'ulun bihi is always in fata'ah at the end, and fa'il is always in dhamma at the end. So it said katabal mudarrisul darsa, that is, the teacher has written the lesson. The next one we have al-babu, that is the door. Fata'ata aminatul ba'aba. Fata'ata aminatul ba'aba. that is, Amina opened the door. Fata'at is the verb, which is the fi'lun in Arabic language. The Aminatu in Rufa'a having Dhamma at the end, it is the fa'il. Then Al-Baba having the Fatah at the end is known to be the Maf'ulun bi'i, that is the object, while Amina is the subject, fa'il. And he illustrated that with the first statement saying Qara al-Talib al-Qur'ana, that is, the students recited Al-Quran. So it says the Qara'a is known to be al-fi'lun. Then it said al-Qara'a is known to be al-fi'l, that is the verb, the action in the statements. Then it said al-Talibu is known to be the fa'il, that is al-fa'il in Arabic grammar, that is the subject. Then we have al-Qur'ana, which is always in Fata'ah in this statement. So it said that is known to be al-maf'ulu bi'i, that is, it is called the object, that is something in which the action is being taken upon. The next one is ayyan al-fa'ila wal maf'ula bi fi jumal al-atiya. Identify the fa'il and the maf'ulun bihi in these sentences. Daha khattan wahidan ta'at al-fa'il. Draw a single line under the fa'il wa khattayn tahta al-maf'ul bih, and 2 lines under the maf'ulun bihi, which is the object. Washkalaha akhira kulli minhuma, and also apply the appropriate vowel sound at the end of each of them. That is, apply the appropriate vowel sound, either fata'ah or dhamma, at the end. Number 1, we have kasara tiflul qalama, that is kasara tiflul qalama, kasara tiflul qalama, that is, the tiflu should have dhamma on it and the qalamu should have fata'ah on it. So we say kasara tiflul qalama, that is, the baby has broken the pen. Kasara tiflul qalama, that is, the baby has broken the pen. The next one we have gasalat aminatul mindila, gasalat aminatul mindila, that is, Amina has washed the handkerchief. Amina has washed the handkerchief. So we say gasalat aminatul mindila, that is, Amina has washed the handkerchief. So Amina should have dhamma at the end, while al-mindil should have fata'ah at the end. So we say gasalat aminatul mindila, akala usamatul inaba, that is, Usama has eaten the grape. So Usama should have dhamma, while the inab should have fata'ah because it is the object. Wa akalat zawjatu ul-mawza, that is, akalat zawjatu ul-mawza, that is, his wife has eaten the banana. Wa akalat zawjatu ul-mawza, that is, his wife has eaten the banana. So banana, al-mawza should be with fatah at the end, while zawjatu should be with dhamma because the zawja is the fa'il here in this statement, and the mawz is the object, which is the maf'ulun bihi in this statement. So the next one, sharibatul baqaratul ma'a, the cow has drank the water. So the baqaratu should be with dhamma rufa, and al-ma'u should be with fatah. We call it ma'a this time around because it's the objects in the sentence, that is the maf'ulun bihi, and maf'ulun bihi is always in fatha. So we say sharibatul baqaratul ma'a, that is the cow drank the water. The next one we have Hamza Hamzatul Qur'ana, that is Hamza memorized the Quran. So the verb here is the Hafiza, while the Hamza is the Fa'il, that is the subject. The verb here, the Fi'ilun here is the Hafiza, and Hamza is the Fa'il, the subject, and the Qur'ana is the maf'ulun bihi in these statements, always in fatha. The next one we have darabat Fatimatu bintaha. Darabat Fatimatu bintaha. Darabat Fatimatu bintaha. That is, darabat is the verb, that is the fi'lun in the sentence. Fatima is the fa'il in the sentence, always in Dhamma, in Rafa'a, and bintaha, binta is the maf'ulun bihi in this statement. So that is why we say bintaha. We never say bintuha. So note that we say binta, not bintu this time around, because bintu here is the one being beaten. That is darabat Fatimatu bintaha, that is Fatima has beaten up her daughter. Then the daughter is the maf'ulun bihi, that is the object, the one the action is being taken upon. So Fatima is the subject, the fa'il. Darabat is the fi'lun, that is the verb. Qatala ar-rajulu al-hayyata bil-hajar, that is the man killed the snake with the stone. So this time around we have the qatala as the fi'lun, that is the verb. So al-rajulu, we have it to be the fa'il because it is the one that executes the action of the verb, the fi'lun. So it has dhamma on it, that is qatala ar-rajulu. So, and we have al-hayyata is the one the action is being taken upon. So we say qatala ar-rajulu al-hayyata bil-hajar, that is the man killed the snake with stone. The next one, it is sami'a bilal al-adhana wa dha'aba ila al-masjid, that is Bilal heard the call to prayer and he went to the mosque. So sami'a is the verb in this statement. Bilal is the fa'il in Ruf'a, that is, it has dhamma on it. Then the next one, the adhan, is the maf'ulun bihi because it is the one being heard. That is, sami'a Bilal al-adhan, that is, Bilal heard the call to prayer. That is, Bilal had the call to prayer. وَذَهَبَ إِلَى الْمَسْجِدِ, and he went to the mosque. So the next one, we have كَتَبَ الْمُدَرِّسُ الدَّرْسَ عَلَى السَّبُورَةِ, that is, the teacher has written the lesson on the board. كَتَبَ الْمُدَرِّسُ الدَّرْسَ, that is, kataba is the verb, that is the fi'lun, and al-mudarris is the fa'il, that is the subject. So ad-darsu, so ad-darsa is the maf'ulun bihi, that's why it is with fatha. So you should apply fatha on that. It is the object, maf'ulun bihi. Ala sabura jar wal majrur. So the next one we have fata al baqqalu dukkana fi sa'ati thamina, that is, the shopkeeper opened the shop 8 o'clock. That is, the shopkeeper opened the shop by 8 o'clock. So this time around, the fataha is the verb, that is the fi'lun, and al-baqqal is the fa'il, that is the one that opened the shop, the one that executes the action of opening. Then the dukkan is the one being opened. So you say dukkana. So this time around, we have the dukkan to be the maf'ulun bihi, always in fataha at this statement. أكمل الجمل الآتية بكلمات مناسبة. Complete the following sentences with the appropriate words. وَضْبِطَأَ بِالشَّكَلِ. Also, mind their vowels. That is, you should mind if it's going to be either fatah or dhamma. Number one, we have man fata'a. Then we say man fata'a al-baba. Who opened the door? So we say man fata'a al-baba. Man, this time around, is the fa'il. Then fataha is the verb, that is the fi'lun. Then al-baba is the maf'ulun bi. So we say man fata'a al-baba, who opened the door. غسلت أختي المنديل. That is, my sister washed the handkerchief. The next one we have قتل الرجل الحية بالعصا. That is, the man killed the snake with a stick. The man killed the snake with the stick. قتل الرجل الحية بالعصا. That is, the man killed the snake with the stick. شرب يوسف القهوة. That is, Yusuf drank the coffee. شرب يوسف القهوة. That is, Yusuf drank the coffee. So the next one we have كتب المدرس الدرس على السبورة. That is, the teacher had written the lesson on the board. سمعت سعاد الخبر. Su'ad listened to the news. قرأت القرآن. I read the Quran. I recited the Quran. قرأت القرآن. I recited the Quran. أسمعت الأذان يا همزة. Oh, you Hamza, did you hear the call to prayer? فتح التاجر الدكان. That is, the businessman opened the shop. فتح التاجر الدكان. That is, the businessman opened the shop. خرج الطلاب من الفصل. That is, the students went out of the class. خرج الطلاب من الفصل. That is, the students went out of the class. So this time around, we will be tested upon the maf'ulun bihi. So the instruction is اجعل كل من الكلمات الآتية مفعولا به. That is, you should make the following words maf'ulun bihi, that is, objects, in sentences. That is, make the following words maf'ulun bihi, that is, objects, in sentences. And again, you should mind their ends, that is, the vowel sound that we should pronounce or you should write at the end of the words. Number one, we have Al-Quran. So I can say, Qara'atul Qur'ana, I recited the Quran. So, Qara'atul Qur'ana, it should be in Fata'ah. The next one, we have Al-Qa'awatu, that is the coffee. Sharibtul Qa'awata, that is, I drank the coffee. Sharibtul Qa'awata, I drank the coffee. So it should be in Fata'ah at the end. At-Tufahu, that is an apple. That is the apple. So I can simply say, Akaltu tufaha, that is, I ate the apple. That is, I ate the apple. The next one, we have al-babu. So we can simply say fata'atul baba, I opened the door. Fata'atul baba, I opened the door. That's why it's in fata at the end. The next one we have ad-darsu, that is the lesson. So I can simply say fa'imtul darsa, I understand the lesson. Fa'imtul darsa, that is I understood the lesson. Katabtu darsa, I've written the lesson. I wrote the lesson. Then the next one we have al-qamisu, that is the shirts. Gasaltul qamisa, that is I washed the shirts. Gasaltul qamisa, that is I washed the shirts. Ta'ammal al-mithalain al-ataini. Ta'ammal al-mithalain al-ataini, that is study the two examples. Number one, we have at-tullabu dha'abu ila al-mal'abi, that is the students went to the playing ground. At-tullabu dha'abu ila al-mal'abi, that is the students went to the playing ground. The next statement is at-talibat dha'abna ila maktaba, that is the female students went to the library. So let's take a look at the anatomy of these two statements. The first one, at-tullabu dha'abu ila al-mal'abi, the students went to the playing ground. So we can simply make this statement to be dha'aba at-tullabu ila al-mal'abi, that is the students went to the playing ground. This is still the same thing, but only that we change the verb and the position of the verbs. The verb, that is the fi'lun, in the first statement is the second word in that statement. But in this statement, the verb is the first word in the statement. So what's their differences? So the first statement, that at-tullab is called the mubtada, and the others, that is dha'abu ila al-mal'abi, is known to be the khabar. But this time around, the dha'aba that comes first in this statement and is known to be the verb, that is the fi'lun, and this at-tullab is known to be the fa'il. Then ilal mal'abi is called the jar wal majrur. So we will explain this better when we come to that in our subsequent Nahwu class. The same thing applies to at-talibat dha'abna ilal mal'abi. The noun in the dha'abna is indicating plurality. That is jam'u. That is the female are more than two. So this time around, the dha'abat is just single one and it is called the verb, while the talibat is known to be the fa'il, and ila al-maktaba is called the jar wal majrur. So this will be explained comprehensively when we come to the topic in our subsequent Nahwu class. In a nutshell, this teaches us that when a verb, that is a fi'lun, is coming after a fa'il, and the fa'il is in its plural form, is the verb, let it comes in its plural form too. But when the fa'il is coming after the fi'lun, that is after the verb, that is you write the verb first, then let the verb be in its singular form, then you can write the fa'il, which is the subject, in its plural form. That is that. Just as it is done here, it is said that at-tullabu dha'abu, and here it is said that dha'aba tullab. So this is called fi'l wa fa'il, and that is called the mubtada wal khabar. So we will be examining on what we have just learned, and it is said that قدم الفعل في الجمل الآتية كما هو موضح في المثال. Write the verb before the subject in the following sentences, just as it is illustrated in the example. Al-awlad sharibul qahwa, that is, the children drank the coffee. So it is illustrated here that we should do it this form, sharibul awlad al-qahwa, that is, the children drank the coffee. So the fi'lun is made to be the first word in the sentence, which initially was the second in the first statement. Sharibu. So this time around, we have number 2, we have An-nasu sami'ul adhana, that is, people listen to the call to prayer. Or we say An-nasu sami'ul adhana, that is, people heard the call to prayer. So this time around, if we want to make the fi'lun to be the first word in this statement, we say Sami an-nasul adhana, that is, people listen to the call to prayer, or people heard the call to prayer. The next one we have At-tullabu katabul ajwiba, the students wrote the answers. So we say At-tullab. So if we are to make the fi'lun to be the first word in the statement, so we say katabal tullabul ajwiba, that is, the students have written the answers. At-talibat dakhalna al-fasla, that is, the students, the female students entered the class. So we say dakhalat at-talibat al-fasla. Dakhalat at-talibat al-fasla, that is, the female students entered the class. Al-mudarrisuna kharaju min al-fusul, that is, the teachers went out of the classes. If we are to make the fi'lun to be the first word in this statement, we say kharaja al-mudarrisuna min al-fusul, that is, the teachers went out of the classes. Zumala'i raja'u min Makkah, that is, my colleagues returned from Mecca. So if we are to make the fi'lun the first word in this statement, we say Raja al-Zumala'i min Makkah, that is, my colleagues returned from Mecca. Akhawati gasalna al-qumsana, that is, my sisters washed the shirts. So if we are to make the fi'lun the first word, then we say ghasalat akhawat al-khumsana, that is, my sisters washed the shirts. At-tujjaru fata'u dakakin, that is, the businessmen open shops, that is, open their shops. So this time around, if we are to make the fi'lun the first word in this statement, we say fata'at tujjaru dakakina, the businessmen opened the shops. At-tabibat dha'abna ila al-mustashfa, that is, the female medical doctors went to the hospital. So if we are to make the verb the first word in this statement, we say dha'abat tabibat ila al-mustashfa, that is, the female medical doctors went to the hospital. Then the next one we have At-tullabu fahimul darsa, the students understood the lesson. The students understand the lesson. Fahimul tullabu darsa, that is, the students understood. So we say fahimul tullabu darsa, the students understood the lesson. Ta'ammal al-amthilat al-atiyah, study the following examples. Kharaja at-tullabu wa dha'abu, that is, the students went out and left. Kharaja at-tullabu wa dha'abu, the students went out and left. Qara'a at-tullabu wa katabu, the students read and write. Akala nasu wa sharibu. That is, people eat and drink. كون جملا مثل هذه مستعمل الفعلين الواردين في كل تمرين ومستعينا بالكلمات التي بين القوسين. From sentences using two verbs just like the previous exercise, using the following words in the brackets. Number one, we have dakhala, then we have jalasa. So you say, number one, we say dakhala, dakhala tullabul fasla wa jalasu. That is, the students entered the class and sat down. So the next one we have darabal rijalul hayya wa qatalu. Darabal rijalul hayyata wa qatalu. That is, the men beat the snake and killed the snake. Darabal rijalul hayyata wa qataluhu. That is, the men beat the snake and kill it. Qara'a tullabud darasa wa fa'imu. That is, the students read the lesson and understand it. The next one we have Sami'a an-nasul adhana wa dha'abu ila al-masjid. That is, the people heard the call to prayer and they went to the mosque. كون جملا مستعملا كلمات الآتية. That is, form sentences using the following words. Number one, we have akala, that is, he eats. So we can simply say, akaltu ta'ama, I ate the food. The next one, we have gasala, so we can simply say, gasaltul qamisa, I washed the clothes, the shirts. The next one, we have qara'a, I can simply say, qara'atu darsa, I read the lesson. Qara'atul Qur'ana, I recited the Quran, the Holy Quran. So we can simply say, akaltu ta'ama, I ate the food. Gasaltul qamisa, I washed the shirts. Qara'atul Qur'ana, I recited the Holy Quran. Katabtu darasa, I wrote the lesson. Darabtul walada, I beat the boy. Qataltul hayya, that is, I killed the snake. Dakhaltul masjida, I entered the mosque. Kharajtu min al masjid, I went out of the mosque. Hafiztul Qur'ana, I memorized the Holy Quran. Sharibtul ma'a, I drank water. Fa'imtu darasa, I understand the lesson. Fa'imtu darasa, I understand the lesson. Sami'tul adhana, I heard the call to prayer. So the next one we have ta'ammal ma yali, study the following. Man fata al-baba, who opened the door? So answer, ana fatatuhu, I opened it. It is known to be fata'atu plus who, which is the huwa. So made who, that is fata'atu plus who, it gives fata'atuhu, that is ana fata'atuhu. Then the next one we have man fata al-nawafidha, that is who opened the windows. Then it says ana fata'atuha, that is I opened it. Fata'atu plus ha gives fata'atuha. So al-kalimat al-jadida, new words in these sentences. Al-enabu, the grape. The next one we have al-mawzu, that is the banana. The next one we have at-tin, that is at-tin, surah at-tin. Al-fajr, that is the fajr prayer, or surah al-fajr. Jawabun, that is answer. So the plural is ajwebatun, that is answers. Su'alun, question. The plural is as'ilatun. The next one we have al-baqqal, that is the shopkeeper. Then we have al-asa, that is the stick, the staff. Then we have al-hayyatu, the snake. Hayyatu, a snake. The plural is hayyat, that is snakes. Sami'a, that is a head. Fa'ima, he understand. Shariba, he drank. This is the end of lesson 5, book 2, Durusul lughatil arabiyyah. Till we meet in the next class. Assalamu alaikum.